Hi everyone, Janey here from the YouTube channel Dig, Plant, Water, Repeat, and today I am taking over the Park Winters YouTube channel. I started seriously gardening about 5 years ago, and funny enough, I found Park Winters and became obsessed with this place about 5 years ago as well. It has completely inspired my gardening journey, and I want to share some of the beautiful things that I love about this place with you all today. So Park Winters is an absolute beautiful, beautiful place to come visit. I feel so lucky that I live so close to this property because, like I said, I get so much gardening inspiration from basically everything here. I could spend the whole day walking around and just looking at the little beautiful touches that Rafael and John have made to this place. But I'll never forget the very first time I came and visited here, I took one of Rafael's garden tours and he took us around. I went with my husband Jason, and our first stop was this little area right here because he slowed us down and he made us stop and smell the scented geranium he has planted here. He picked some of this nutmeg geranium and he gave it to my husband and told him to smell it, and then we all smelled it in the group. And I think what Rafael was trying to say to us was to slow down. We're about to take a garden tour and we're about to enjoy ourselves and enjoy nature. And this just taught me the importance of scent in your garden. We all focus on, visual, we focus on sounds, the birds and all that kind of stuff, color, but scent often gets left behind unless it's something like a rose or a floral scent. But there are a lot of foliage scents as well, just like this scented geranium. And Rafael, this was my first introduction to this property, and I will never forget the scent of this geranium, and I just love it. All throughout this property, you can find scent in foliage, you can find scent in flowers, and it just really stimulates the senses. And I am still to this day trying to incorporate more scent, more of a sensory experience in my garden when I'm gardening at home. So let me take you around to the front of the main house. They have all these beautiful hedges everywhere, and it just feels like you're in this amazing secret garden. But even with all the hedges and even with all the plantings, they do have a lot of open area, like this lawn here right in front of the house. Let me turn around and show you guys the house. Oh, I just love it here. It's like you're completely transported to a different place and a different time. It makes me feel like I'm back in the Victorian era. I just love it. So coming out this way, you can see more beautiful hedges, and then you come to the fountain, and this, you guys, is one of my favorite views of this property. The fountain in the front, and then the big wide open spaces with the lawn. Look at how amazing that is in the garden. So what this has taught me is that open spaces in a garden are sometimes necessary. It's sometimes nice to have that break. And if you have the space to have open grassy areas like this, what a difference it can make for your garden. It is so beautiful. And just to kind of go back to the sensory experience, like I was talking about with the scent, the sound. If I'm quiet, I'll be quiet in just a second, but you can hear birds, you can hear the fountain, you can hear the bees buzzing around. It's amazing. So let me take you all this way along another pathway lined with hedges. We're leaving the fountain area and we are going to walk over to the sunken garden. Now, the sunken garden is in my opinion, one of the most amazing things about this property. I think it's what makes this property so incredibly special because the sunken garden is just it's like I said, it's like you've been transported to another place. This When I saw this sunken garden for the first time, my jaw dropped and I could not get over the beauty of it. So this is a sunken area. You can go down steps to get to it. And then it has this beautiful garden in the middle surrounded by more hedges. It's absolutely gorgeous. But what I learned the most from this sunken garden is to appreciate the ordinary. And let me tell you what I mean about that. So I talk on my YouTube channel, I talk a lot about what people call parking lot plants. So plants that in your particular region maybe are so kind of common that they don't really feel special to put in your garden. And in my area, which is Northern California, where Park Winters is, iceberg roses are one of those parking lot plants. It's a plant that has been used so much that maybe it doesn't feel as special as like a David Austin rose or something fabulous. But Rafael has planted iceberg roses all throughout this sunken garden, and seeing the beauty of the iceberg roses and listening to why he chose iceberg roses over another type of rose just made me realize how important it is to appreciate the ordinary sometimes. And maybe ordinary can be extraordinary if you use it in the right way. So Rafael always talks about how he has used iceberg roses in the sunken garden because they bloom all season long. They have weddings all year round around here, and so they needed a plant that would be blooming absolutely nonstop. And so iceberg roses will do that. They're also really, really beautiful. This beautiful white color. It plays off of the other greens and the purples from the lavender that they have in this garden, and the teucrium when the teucrium's blooming. It really is just a beautiful, beautiful sight, and like just a fabulous, fabulous choice to have in the sunken garden. Can you imagine if he had chosen another rose that only has one flush of blooms during the year? We wouldn't get this beauty that we have here during a time we're in the, dog days of summer where roses really shouldn't be blooming too much right now, but they're looking gorgeous. So this has just taught me to appreciate the ordinary, find the beauty in the ordinary, and you can come up with some really, really gorgeous things if you just appreciate what you already have. So I'm over on the other side of the sunken garden now, away from the big house, and I wanted to show you all this plant over here because this plant really made an impact in my gardening journey. This plant is called a Matilaha poppy, or a fried egg poppy. It has a beautiful bloom that looks like a fried egg, and Rafael introduced me to this plant in that very first garden tour that I took 5 years ago with him, 5 or so years ago, I should say, and he just really inspired me to garden for your region. So the reason why I say that is we can watch a lot of gardening content that is not local to our area. For instance, you can watch Gardener's World on BBC and see a lot of English gardens. You can see a lot of garden tours on the East Coast or in the South. And it's a good reminder that what is native and grows in your area can be really, really beautiful as well. So the California golden poppy is the California state flower, but actually this fried egg poppy, Matilaha poppy, was actually in the running to be the state flower as well. And of course the golden poppy won out, but that doesn't take away the beauty of this fried egg poppy. It is a really cool plant. It is native. It's a special plant, and you really, if you garden for your region, you can really get something very cool and very beautiful. And I'll show you more when I go over to the farm side of the property where Rafael and John have done even more of that. But I just had to point out this plant because this plant really made a huge impact in my gardening journey. Now, I can't leave the formal garden area without taking you all over to the pool, which is just so much fun, right? It's just the most beautiful pool, and I just want to jump in every single time I come here. But I have to point out the passion flower hedge that they have planted here. They have all of their crepe myrtles in between, and then a gorgeous, gorgeous field of sunflowers behind it, which is of course not theirs. We have fields of sunflowers that grow around here, and we're just so lucky to have that. But on this little fence area, there's a whole bunch of passion flower, and Rafael introduced me to how carpenter bees pollinate the passion flower. They kind of run around in a little circle and rub the pollen from the passion flower onto their backs. And it's the cutest thing. But when he taught me about that, he made me realize how important pollinators are to your garden and how planting a plant like passion flower can bring really special pollinators to your garden, and it can still be beautiful. This is a beautiful hedge, right? But the fact that he has planted this passion flower hedge here has brought so many carpenter bees to this garden. And like I said, one of the sounds of this garden is the sounds of the pollinators. And it really has just made a huge difference to have all these beautiful plants that these pollinators love. So here you can see the passion flower, and the carpenter bees run around right here, and then it rubs the pollen on their backs. It's just the neatest thing, and I am so thankful that Rafael introduced me to this. All right, so let me take you all over to the farm side of the property. But just look at this view. Isn't this just beautiful? What a fun place to spend the day. I just love it here. Okay, so I am now over on the farm side of the property. I was just on the formal side. Now over here is the farm side. And this walk right here, I have to say, this is a very special walk. If you ever come and visit Park Winters, which I encourage you to do, I would say make this one of your first stops. Walk along, you start from the parking lot and then you walk all the way back to the flower barn, and this walk immediately slows my heart rate down. It calms me down, it relaxes me. There's just something about it. You're being surrounded by all this beautiful scent. There's lavender planted absolutely everywhere. There's gorgeous flowers. There's the hills in the background. It is just one of my absolute favorite places in the world. And I feel so lucky that I live fairly close to Park Winters that I can come here pretty often. So as you walk down the lane and you pass the entrance to the flower farm, the flower rows, you really get a sense for the farm nature of this side of the property versus the other side of the property that's much more formal. And it's one of my favorite things about this property, about Park Winters, is that you can kind of decide what you're in the mood for the day. So when I come here, if I'm in the mood to be much more relaxed, much more organic, I'll come over and hang out in the flower side, the farm side over here, and look at the flower rows. I always make a beeline for the flower barn. I'll take you all there in just a second. If I'm feeling a little bit more, I don't know, formal and fancy, I'll spend the day over on the formal side. So let me take you over to the flower barn and show you one of the most beautiful buildings I've been in. So the flower barn here at Park Winters, it's, don't quote me on this, but I know it's an old building from the old property that Rafael and John had moved over here to the farm side, and now they use it as their flower barn. And I love this building. I love coming in here. I will come here during the winter time when it's raining, and it's so much fun because they have music playing and everybody is arranging bouquets and just enjoying being around nature, even if it's dried. So if you all know the scent of dried flowers, you probably should know what I'm talking about if you've ever smelled that. That's what this whole building smells like. And it is so fun to come in here and just see the little knickknacks that they've put out and they've arranged. It's like, to me, it's like being in a storybook, like a old cottage, and a story was set here, and you immediately get transformed into being in another world. And I just absolutely love it. They have all these flowers hung from the ceiling, which is what they dry, and they use it for their dried flower experiences. And if you've never taken one of their dried flower experiences, I highly recommend it because it is just so much fun. So this is just a really, really special place on the Park Winters property. And I cannot tell you how much it's inspired me at my own home, especially during the down season, the winter season, when the garden is not doing as much. If you think ahead and you dry your flowers, you can be in nature and be playing with nature absolutely all year long. And that is something that Park Winters has really, really inspired me and taught me. And I will always, always thank them for that. If you've never walked through a row of flowers, absolutely filled to the brim with pollinators. Do it as soon as possible. Come to Park Winters and experience this because it is so much fun. And it's one of the things that has taught me how important it is to garden with the seasons. You can come here from one week to the next and different things will be blooming and different things will be absolutely going insane. And it's just so fun to see the seasons progress with the blooms that they have here at Park Winters. It's just so wonderful. So I think that's going to be it for me today. First of all, I want to say a huge thank you to Rafael and John for letting me take over the channel and show you all what I love so much about this place. I hope you all have a chance to get to Park Winters because it is such a wonderful, wonderful way to spend the day in nature, just really enjoying what's going on around you. My first stop right now is to head over to the pavilion, get some lemonade, and then go enjoy myself for the rest of the day here at Park Winters. I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.